I never planned on spending that afternoon at my best friend's house. It was one of those quiet fall Saturdays when the sky turned a soft pale gray, and the air felt cool but comfortable. My friend Jake had texted me saying he forgot to bring his notebook home from school and needed help reviewing for an upcoming exam. I told him I'd swing by for an hour and then head out. When I arrived, Jake's family home looked as welcoming as always. Freshly trimmed hedges lined the walkway, and wind chimes tinkled gently near the front porch. I knocked, hearing footsteps approach. The door opened to a familiar face, Jake's mom, Sarah Mitchell. Sarah was a warm presence. She always had a calm demeanor, gentle voice, and an energy that made everyone around her feel comfortable. She smiled the moment she saw me. "Oh, hi, Daniel," she said kindly. "Jake isn't home yet, he ran to the store for snacks. You can wait inside if you'd like." I nodded, stepping into the cozy living room decorated with family photos, framed student artwork, and shelves filled with books. The smell of freshly brewed tea drifted through the room. "Would you like some tea while you wait?" Sarah offered. "Sure, thank you." She poured 2 cups and we sat across from each other at the dining table. At first, we made small talk about school, future plans, and how quickly the seasons were changing. Sarah listened attentively, occasionally nodding along. After a few moments, she paused. Her eyes seemed distant, thoughtful. "You know, Daniel," she said gently, "I've always admired how hard you work. Jake talks about you a lot, about how determined you are." I thanked her, but her expression suggested she wanted to say more. "There's something I wanted to talk to you about, if that's okay," she added. I was surprised but nodded politely. She folded her hands calmly on the table and took a small breath. "When I was your age, I had big dreams," she began. "I wanted to study architecture and design meaningful spaces for people. But life moved quickly, and I put those dreams aside to support my family." Her voice was steady but emotional. For a long time, I told myself that I didn't miss those dreams. But the truth is, I kept wondering what might have been. I listened quietly. I wouldn't have guessed that behind her confident kindness was a story of unfulfilled goals. Sarah met my eyes. "The reason I wanted to talk to you is because I recognize that same sense of ambition in you. You talk about becoming an engineer, starting your own projects, helping your community. I don't want you to grow up someday wondering, what if?" Her words surprised me. I felt a lump in my throat. At times I second-guessed my goals, worrying about financial security and the pressure to choose a safe path instead of pursuing what truly made me happy. Sarah continued softly, "Dreams matter, Daniel, even when they're scary, even when they take more time or effort. Don't give up on yours just because it seems hard." The room grew quiet. Before I could respond, the door clicked open and Jake returned with grocery bags, completely unaware of the meaningful conversation we'd just shared. "Hey, Daniel, ready to study?" he laughed. We moved to his room and worked through flashcards and notes until evening. But I couldn't stop thinking about what Sarah had told me. That conversation stayed with me for weeks. Whenever I felt unsure or overwhelmed by my coursework, I remembered Sarah's words, "Don't give up just because it's hard." I started pushing myself more, joining tutoring sessions, seeking internships, staying up late perfecting assignments. Slowly, my grades improved, and my confidence grew alongside them. Months passed, and I eventually received an acceptance letter into a competitive engineering program. I ran to Jake's house to share the news firsthand. Sarah's eyes lit up when she heard. "I knew it," she said warmly, placing her hand over her heart. "You stayed brave." I thanked her for the advice she gave me months earlier. She smiled gently. "I just reminded you of something you already knew." Years later, after graduating from college and beginning my professional career, I stayed in touch with Jake's family. During a casual visit one summer, Sarah invited me into the kitchen for lemonade. "You'll be happy to know," she said proudly, "I finally enrolled in night classes for design certification." I stared at her in disbelief. "You did," she nodded, grinning. "Your journey reminded me too. It's never too late to chase what matters." In that moment, I realized something powerful: inspiration flows both ways. Her encouragement had helped shape my path, and in return, my progress had given strength to her own dreams. Sometimes life-changing moments don't happen with grand speeches or dramatic revelations. They happen quietly, over a simple cup of tea, with a heartfelt conversation that reminds us who we really are and what we're capable of becoming. That afternoon, I went to my friend's house just to study. I left carrying words that would guide me for a lifetime.